Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tash and today I'm going to talk you through the 7 books I read in January and the books that are on my February TBR. Quick disclaimer, if you can hear drilling or any other miscellaneous noise in the background, I do apologise. There is building work going on downstairs and it is very annoying, but you have to film, so here we are. I was planning on pushing this back until my next day off in the beginning of February because I was like, what if I finish my current read and then it's not correct and up to date? But considering my current read is A Clash of Kings by George R.R. Martin, and I'm only just about 200 pages through with 2 days left to go of the year, I think not. So we're doing it now. We're gonna put all thoughts about finishing this behemoth out of my head. So January has been a funny month for me. Reading wise, it's been amazing. I don't think I've read as much in a month in general as I have in this month, which is amazing. But I have been having a big case of the blues, the downs. I've been very depressed recently, so that's why my channel has been quite quiet recently. I've just not had the energy to sit down and talk about anything, but we're trying to change that, so here we are. Anyway, the first book I read this year was Butter by Asako Yazuki, and I thought long and hard about what I was going to rate this book because I think it has a lot of value. I don't think it's a bad book necessarily. It just wasn't for me and it wasn't what it was marketed as. This sort of the description leads you to believe that this is like there's a serial killer that's obsessed with food and we've got to try and figure out if she actually did it or if she didn't do it, but that's just not really what the book is about. It's more sort of like a really long commentary on like diet culture and misogyny and things like that, and it was fine, but I ended up giving it 2 stars because it just, if I wasn't listening to the audiobook of this, I probably would have just put it down, which is a shame because I was really excited for this one, but here we are. This book fulfilled the prompt for the buzzword cover challenge, which was internal body parts, and that was it. The blood is what qualifies it for that prompt, so that one is completed. The second book I read in January was The Corruption of Hollis Brown by Kate Ancrum, which was my 12 recommendations from 12 friends for 12 months pick for the month, and guys, I loved it. I loved it and I'm so happy I loved it. As soon as I finished it, I messaged Morgan straight away and I was like, oh my god, I loved it so much, thank you so much for the recommendation, it was brilliant. I listened to an audio again and it was just, I was obsessed with it. I think I listened to it just within 24 hours. It just blew my mind. Basically follows this boy called Hollis, obviously, who lives in a sort of small rural town that doesn't have a lot going for it. It's very poor, it's very destitute. He makes the best, him and his family, they make the best of the tough situation that they're in. And then one day he comes across another boy who winds up almost tricking him into allowing him to possess his body. So it's sort of the 2 in 1 body. And there's a little bit of romance and there's like some great friendship dynamics and it's so good, it's brilliant. Please go and read it if you haven't already. And if you've read other books from Kate Ancrum, please let me know if I should read any of the others because not a lot of the descriptions sound all that interesting to me, but I love this book so much that I'm really interested in picking up some of her other stuff. So just let me know which ones would be best if you have read any. And then to finish my required reading for the month, I picked up After the Silence by Louise O'Neill. And this was another one that I really had to think about the rating of. This is again, I kind of thought it would be more thrillery and it wasn't. This follows Keelan Kinsella, and 10 years ago, a girl, very well-known girl from this island, died on her property, and everyone kind of assumed that her husband was the one that killed her, but it was never proven. And we follow her sort of 10 years after this event. There's a documentary crew that's coming to try and investigate the story, tell the story 10 years on, and tensions are quite high and things aren't quite what they seem. But again, it was more, sometimes I feel like books that have a lot of social commentary in them, they prioritize the commentary over the story, and that was how I felt about After the Silence. I really like Louisa Neal. She's very hit or miss for me with her books. It's Only Ever Yours and Idol I absolutely loved, so I will continue to give her a chance even if some of them don't quite hit for me, and this was one of those. Unfortunately, I gave it 3 stars because I think the commentary in here was very valuable and very nuanced, and there were times when I was discussing it with Alex and I was trying to make a point, like trying to make a criticism, and then I thought, oh wait, actually maybe that's, you know, talking about this thing. So it made me think things, it kept me very engaged, but the actual mystery itself was quite dull and really obvious, and I feel like it was kind of sidelined for some of the other stuff the book had to say, which is fine, but it just wasn't what I was looking for, if that makes sense. I like my social commentary to be more intertwined with the story, and for books to not sacrifice one for the other, if that makes sense. And I feel like this story lacked in the plot for the more commentary elements. God, there's so much noise at the moment. After that, I had another 3-star read, which was disappointing again, but it was Herculine by Grace Byron, and I listened to this on audio while sort of reading it at the same time, and I enjoyed it. I would say the enjoyment factor was more present in Herculine than it was for After the Silence. I don't know, there was just something about it that I just didn't love. I can't really put my finger on it, which is a shame because I was so excited for this. I feel like, again, I was kind of lied to a little bit. This description talks about, you know, the fact that she has seen these demons all her life, and then there's sort of like this big chunk in the middle where we don't get any of that. There's just this big chunk where it doesn't feel like a horror story, it just kind of feels like trans girl summer camp, and then it kind of all picks up again at the end, and the pacing is just really off. It was fun, I did enjoy it, and I'm gonna keep it on my shelves, especially for a little while, because oh my god, it's so amazing. Look at the cover. But yeah, a bit of a letdown, unfortunately. And then while I was waiting for my pre-order to arrive, I wanted to pick up something quite quick that I could get through in a couple of days, no problem. And I ended up getting Through Gates of Garnet and Gold. Yeah, that is what it's called, by Sean Maguire, which is, I want to say, book 11 in the Wayward Children series. I won't go into too many details about the story itself and the characters, because you do need to read some of the previous books to sort of understand what's going on, but I love the Wayward Children series. They are these stunning little portal fantasy novellas, just bursting of full of creativity and whimsy, which was kind of the theme for this book and the next one. I just love them so much, and Through Gates of Garnet and Gold took us back to some characters and a world that we've kind of seen before, and continued on a story that was started all the way at the very beginning of the series, which was so much fun. Every time I pick up these books, I'm always worried, like, oh, am I gonna have forgotten too much about the characters and about the magical world and things, but I just don't. Every time I pick them up, I'm just right back in that world and just wishing that my door would appear. Book number 6 was one of my most anticipated reads of the year, so I'm very glad that it came out right at the start of the year, and it was The Elsewhere Express by Samantha Soto Yambao. Oh, I loved it. I was really nervous because I loved Watermoon so much. Sorry, they're banging really loudly and it's really annoying me. It would be really funny if I film all this and then none of it is usable, but knowing me, I'm too lazy to refilm anything, so you might just have to deal with it anyway. Sorry. Anyway, I loved Watermoon so much that I really didn't want to be let down. I really didn't want to read The Elsewhere Express and feel like, oh. And I didn't. I loved it so much. This follows 2 characters who wind up on the Elsewhere Express, which is a magical train that is unlike any train you've ever heard of or seen before. And it picks up people who have lost their sense of purpose, and the train can provide them with that purpose. And there's kind of a few elements to it. There's a bit of a quest element, a bit of a mystery, a very soft, slight romance. I mean, you could maybe even interpret it as not a romance at all. If you're looking for a romance, this is not the why you should pick up this book. It's a nice added extra. It's just gorgeous. I don't know how someone can think of all of the things that this author does. It's just so whimsical. I wish I had this level of creativity, and I absolutely flew through it. It is a gorgeous cover. It's got these beautiful colouring pages in the front and the back, and some really lovely illustrations for sort of separating each part, which I think is really cool. But yeah, I was excited for it and it lived up to all of my expectations and more, so I'm very, very happy about this one. Now, I did have one DNF for the month, and I've left it until now to talk to it. What? And I've left it until now to talk about it because it relates to the final book I read in the month. Now, I put on my January TBR that I was going to read Stolen Moments by A.B. Jackson, and I did read some of it, but then there was a goddamn reference in it. Again! Why does this keep happening to me? It's so frustrating. It's 2026, people. We don't need to keep doing this. In fact, we should just not keep doing this. This needs to stop. So please stop putting these references in your goddamn books, because it will make me DNF them. So I DNF'd it. I feel like I was maybe about halfway through, and I've left my feedback on NetGalley, and that is done. But I was approved for another arc this month, and it was Two Left Feet by Callie Embledge. And so I kept them together because they're both arcs, they're both queer romances, and just felt like thematically they went together. But thankfully, Two Left Feet was a much better read, a much more enjoyable experience. I wasn't really enjoying Stolen Moments all that much in terms of the writing itself. It probably would have ended up being like a 3-star, maybe a 2.5, 3-star read. But Two Left Feet, you know, definitely wasn't the pinnacle of literature, but it was definitely the kind of thing to get me out of this sort of slump I've been feeling after watching Heated Rivalry. And, you know, maybe that's just because it's a sports male romance. That's about as much as the stories are the same. I don't know what really to say about it. It was a lot of fun. It was really heartfelt. I just really enjoyed it, and I would definitely recommend it if you've sort of read or watched Heated Rivalry and just sort of feeling a bit... Sorry, Milo was just eating something random off the floor. I don't know what that was, and he's running away now. If you've watched Heated Rivalry or read it and you're sort of feeling a bit like, I want something more of like that, then I would definitely recommend picking this up when it comes out. I want to say it comes out on the 12th of February, which is why I read it this month. But yeah, those are the 7 books that I read in January. Now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the books that are on my February TBR, and also my next recommendation, 12 recs from 12 friends in 12 months pick out of my mug. So keep watching. So obviously every month I have 3 books that I need to read to fulfill certain prompts or challenges, which are the Buzzword Reading Challenge, the Buzzword Cover Challenge, and then 12 recs from 12 friends in 12 months. So for the Cover Challenge, the prompt this month is books with a silhouette on the cover, and I had quite a few to choose from. And maybe I hate myself. Maybe I'm just on a big thick book binge at the moment, but I decided to go with The Black Prism by Brent Weeks. I would say that is a silhouette on the cover, I would say so. And I've kind of gone for this one because it's been on my one of the ones that's been on my TBR for the longest. It is very much a veteran, and I know it's part of quite a long series, and I'm trying to cut down my TBR as much as possible. And if I don't enjoy this, or I end up DNFing it, or I get to the end but I don't want to continue, then that is a whole group of books that I can just get out of my mind. On the other hand, I might discover a epic high fantasy series that I can obsess over more. So win-win either way. So the first one going on the TBR is The Black Prism by Brent Weeks, which is a whopping, oh, it's not that bad actually, I thought it was longer, 735 pages, definitely doable. And then for the Buzzword Reading Challenge, the prompt is books with keyboard keys in the title. So any keyboard key, if it's in the title of a book, counts. And I've actually been very clever this month. Because I have 2 arcs to read, and one of them is and now back to you. Back, keyboard key, put them together, 2 in 1, win-win again. So that is my book to fulfill that prompt as well. So we've got The Black Prism and Now Back to You. My other arc for the month is Witch Trial by Harriet Tice, which I'm a little bit apprehensive about because I think it's going to be a bit more of a slow burn, a bit more of a slower read, but hopefully also very, very good. One thing I am very, very excited about is I'm going to be participating in the first buddy read in so long, and that is with the lovely Les over at Tattered Trash Reader. And we are going to be reading And They Were Roommates by Paige Powers, which has been on my TBR for a while. I posted about it on Instagram and a buddy read was thus formed. So I'm very excited about this one, even though every time I think about the title, I always think of, you know, the Vine, oh my god, they were roommates, that thing. So I'm hoping it's gonna be really, really good. I want to say as well, they've been doing this shit for like 3 weeks, every day, every single day. Thankfully they're not drilling into the ceiling this time, but damn, it has been so annoying, so annoying. So my wild card pick for the month is one from my library TBR, which is The Lamb by Lucy Rose. Apparently I love books about women cannibalism, female cannibals, so it's got to be done. I didn't actually have this on my official TBR, but I saw it in the library and was like, oh yeah, I've heard of that, and I read the description and I was like, this is up my alley, this is right up my alley. And I was actually going to pick this up for the end of January, but then I don't know what possessed me to do it, but then I ended up picking up A Clash of Kings instead. So I feel like it's owed a place on the February TBR. Okay, the exciting bit now, the bit you have all been waiting for, or maybe you got bored of waiting and you decided to leave. Anyway, it's time to pick my next book from my 12 recommendations from 12 friends in 12 months. And oh, I'm really nervous. I shouldn't be, because The Corruption of Hollis Brown was amazing. I loved it. So hopefully we continue on that trajectory. Okay, we're going for this one. I'm gonna try and show you first. We got it? Diabound by Sable Sorensen from Evie's Book Corner. Okay, interesting. I actually have this reserved at the library. I'm waiting for it to come in. And I can probably get it on my Kindle quite easily, even if it doesn't come in on time. Ooh, see, this was one I was really not sure about, because I've literally never heard of it until Evie recommended it to me. So this makes me a bit nervous, but I'll keep an open mind. I will keep an open mind. I will give it a go. I will read it. That's what the challenge is. We're trying to find new favorites. Can you tell her that I'm really nervous because I can't stop smiling? I feel really awkward because I feel like, oh, I don't know. Half of me just wants to like put it back and repick something. For some reason, this wasn't what I was hoping for. I've got a few of the recommendations out from the library already that are sat on my shelf, so I was kind of hoping it would be one of those, but it is Diabound, so we'll see how that goes. So that rounds out my February TBR, which consists of And Now Back to You by B.K. Borison, Witch Trial by Harriet Tice, The Black Prism by Brent Weeks, The Lamb by Lucy Rose, And They Were Roommates by Paige Powers, and Diabound by Sable Sorensen. Yeah, don't know what else to say other than shut the fuck up downstairs. Don't you know I'm trying to film YouTube videos? Go away. Anyway, we'll put this here as a reminder. I've still got my Corruption of Hollis Brown one. Maybe I'll like keep them and put them in a journal or something. Oh look, that's cute. One there. Ah, isn't that nice? Anyway, if you like this video, make sure you hit that like button, and if you want to see more videos from me, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I am trying to get to, what should my goal be? I'd like to get to 50 subscribers by the end of February, which means I actually have to post things. So, motivation. So if you've enjoyed this video, then please make sure you hit that subscribe button. You'll get notified every time I post a new video. which will be of the highest quality, I promise you. Not much else to say other than thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!